Welcome everyone to the City of Quinte West Committee of Adjustment meeting. The committee is made up of 5 members. I'm a public member. My name's Harm Zelstra. I'll be the chair this evening. On my immediate left is public member Doug Phillips, and on his left is public member Paul Lafferty, and on his left is public member David Jesse, and on our far left is Councillor Jim Ellier. On my right is Kelly West. She's the manager of Planning Service. Because this is a hearing under the Planning Act, when the committee gets to the applications for consideration, each application will be brought up in the order listed on the agenda with an opportunity for public input given prior to discussion and consideration by the committee. If you wish to make a comment, please raise your hand to be recognized by the chair. Consent and minor variance decisions made tonight will have a last day of appeal of January the 2nd, 2025. If anyone wishes to receive a copy of one of the notices of decision, please use the pad of paper provided by the sign-in sheet to indicate your name, mailing address, or email address and which decision you would like a copy of, and it will be sent to you. If anyone has not signed in on the sign-in sheet, please do so, as this is used for the minutes of the meeting. Could I have any disclosures of pecuniary interest? Hearing none. Approval of the agenda for this evening? Moved by Jim, seconded by Doug. All in favor? Carried. And approval of the minutes of November the 14th. 2024. Moved by Paul, second by David. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. First application is consent application B28-24S. The owner is Ronald Douglas Prest. Description is part lots 31 and 32, concession 7, which is south of 349 Marsh Hill Road in Sydney Ward. And the purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land which would create one new vacant lot. The severed parcel would have a frontage of 414.7 meters, a depth of 451.1 meters, and area of 15 hectares, and the retained would have a frontage of 200.8 meters and a depth of 1,303.5 meters and a total area of 24.8 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? See, Ron Prest is on the Zoom screen here. If he has any comments, he can bring them forward or answer any questions that we may have.
I have no comments.
Okay. Any comments or concerns from the public here? None? Any questions or concerns from the committee members?
Move the recommendation, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Moved by Jim, seconded by David. That application B28-24S by Ronald Douglas Prest to sever a parcel of land south of 349 Marsh Hill Road, part lots 31 and 32, concession 7, in the former township of Sydney is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. 1, that is severed or a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 2, that draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. 3, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. 4, that the existing non-complying structure be removed or relocated in order to comply with the City of Quinte West zoning bylaw. And 5, that a parcel of land measuring 10 meters from the center line of the road along the frontage of the severed and retained lands along Marsh Hill Road be conveyed for road widening purposes to the city at no cost to the satisfaction of public works. Are you aware of these conditions, Mr. Prest?
I wasn't aware of the condition about, I'm not sure which building that you're talking about. Is that the shed that's on the eastern part of the property?
Eastern part? That's
That would be
that's the barn that's right close to the road, right?
The
5 by-
property that would be on lot 32. There's,
Yes,
it's an old barn, but it's currently being just used as a shed to park, farm machinery in by the tenant farmer. And, I wasn't aware of, I think I heard you say that had to be taken down,
Yes.
but maybe I'm wrong about that.
What's that, sir? Sorry?
Did I understand that there's a building that needs to be taken down on that property?
Yes, the barn, the 5 by 15 barn that's close to the road there?
Yes. What's the reason for that? Is it's too close to the road, or?
That's the reason for it, yeah. Because it doesn't
Okay.
comply with the zoning bylaw. Kelly?
So the recommendation is that it either be removed or be brought into compliance with the zoning bylaw, which would mean maybe we need to do a minor variance for its location, or perhaps a rezoning. That would have to be discussed with the planner. But that's part of the recommendation. You can do either or.
Okay. Yeah, that barn has been there obviously probably for the better part of 200 years. It's like a shed that the tenant farmer is using to store machinery in, and farm machinery in. And I would, if there's a way to keep that, to just leave that in place, that would be my preference, because it is handy for the tenant farmer to use that. If there's a way to do a variance or something to just keep that shed.
Yes, it is possible, but you'd have to come in and talk to Kelly about that. It's a separate process, so,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, so I guess I have to make up my mind on whether, depending on what I had to do for that procedure, whether to go through that procedure or possibly just take if it wasn't worth it, to just take the building down, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's your choice,
Okay.
But anytime
Okay.
you change your property, like for a severance or anything like that, everything that's on both properties actually have to come into compliance with the
Right.
zoning bylaws, so.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't aware, I didn't realize that would become an issue, but I will come in and just discuss that then and talk about that with the appropriate people, I guess.
Yeah, you've got a fair length of time to do that, so.
Yeah, now like how long would I have? Did you say into January to do that, or how long do I have?
You have 2 years to complete any conditions.
2 years, okay. But I would be looking at that probably, probably in January, I'd want to start looking at that just to keep that moving, so.
Yep, sure.
Okay,
Yep.
that's great.
Okay, thank you then.
All right. So it's moved by Jim, seconded by David. All in favor? Thank you. Next application. Okay, it's a minor variance application. Eh?
29.
29, I got the wrong one.
You're completely all out of order.
29, there we go. Yeah, I had the names, I just didn't have the numbers. Okay, the next application is consent application B29-24M, Robert Regine and Jennifer Lynn Gagnon, Agent is David DeFries. Legal description is Part Lot 11, Concession 3. Address is 1668 County Road 40 in Murray Ward. And the purpose of the application is to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes, which would add land to 1416 County Road 40. The severed would have no frontage, a depth of 230.6 meters, and an area of 2.47 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 35.1 meters, a depth of 792.7 meters, and a total area of 6.63 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Oh, no.
We're all friends here. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Good evening, folks. Thanks to staff who wrote the report and the recommendation. We have seen the conditions. I think all I can say is if you look at the diagram, the the folks who own the land have this long piece of property that's kind of useless at the south end. And Mr. DeVries owns the land to the east along the inside of County Road 40. And so the neighbors have agreed to sever off the very south part of their property from the pipeline to their back property line and add it to the property to the east of DeVries. And it still leaves a very deep lot, which is kind of, I'm going to say useless shape, if you could say so. So that's that. And then as a technicality, the property that has the land only has 35 meters of frontage, which is deficient. So we're also just legally asking that be recognized. Nothing's changed, but as you noted a minute ago, sir, once you do a severance, it puts everything into play again. So that's why the variance is there, why we're asking for the back, and just for benefit, there will be a rezoning application coming in after the new year for the lot addition and the benefiting property. The owner does site services for development. Any new commercial, the sewers, the water, the asphalt, the curbs, so they need someplace to store equipment. So, thank you very much. Support what staff have done here. Thank you.
Thank you, Spencer. Any comments or concerns from the committee members? I know it's a fairly irregular lot, lots of room, but not much frontage on the retained. But that's going to be addressed through the minor variance. Mover? Moved by David, seconded by Doug?
Yeah.
That application B29-24M by Robert Regine and Jennifer Lynn Gannon, to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes at 1668 County Road 40, Part Lot 11, Concession 3, in the former township of Murray is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. One, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Two, that a draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Three, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. Four, that the severed parcel be deeded as a lot addition to the recipient property, and the applicant's lawyer submit an undertaking to register a consolidation on title giving effect to the lot addition. And five, that the applicant's lawyer submit a legal opinion verifying that the lot addition lands will merge on title with the recipient parcel under the Planning Act. And six, that minor variance A12-24M be in effect for the retained lands pursuant to the Planning Act, which we'll do, after the next application. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is consent application B30-24S, Jonathan DeGus, is that how you pronounce that? And Jennifer Schonecker. The legal description is part lots 14 and 15, concession 3. The address is 328 Platt Road, added to east of 328 Platt Road in Sydney Ward. And the purpose of this application is to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes, which would add land to the property east of 328 Platt Road to provide it with road frontage. And a frontage, severed portion would have frontage of 45 meters, a depth of 341 meters, and total area of 1.6 hectares. And the retained would have a frontage of 448 meters, a depth of 494 meters, and a total area of 23.56 hectares. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? Hearing none. Any questions from the committee members?
Move the recommendation, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, moved by Jim, second by Paul. That application B30-24S by Jonathan DeGus and Jennifer Schonecker to sever a parcel of land for lot addition purposes at 328 Platt Road, part lots 14 and 15, concession 3, in the former township of Sydney, is hereby approved, subject to the following conditions. One, that a registered survey for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Two, that draft transfer for the severed parcel be submitted to the city. Three, that the tax account for the subject property be paid up to date. And four, that the severed parcel be deeded as a lot addition to the recipient property, and the applicant's lawyer submit an undertaking to register a consolidation on title, giving effect to the lot addition. And five, that the applicant's lawyer submit a legal opinion verifying that the lot addition lands will merge on title with the recipient parcel under the Planning Act. And six, that a minor variance be in effect for the severed lands pursuant to the Planning Act. What would the minor variance be for?
I don't know, that's what I was looking to see. That could be a carryover, yeah. We didn't say anything in the analysis.
Because it meets the frontage, okay.
Yep. I think that may be a carryover.
We read these things and sometimes we catch some things.
Retained parcel meets frontage area. Benefit satisfies minimum lot area. Oh, no, however, it doesn't have lot frontage for a public road because it's rural. It's not rural residential. So it needs to have 60 meters, not 45. That's why.
Okay, so the minor variance, because of, Kelly, do you want to explain that just so I don't mess it up?
So the minor variance is in relation to the frontage, which is only at, I'm not 100% sure, because here in the chart, we've got 45 meters. Here on page 5, we've got 49 meters, so we just need to confirm which one it is for the application purposes. Hard to read on the surveyor sketch right now, but the requirement for the zone of rural is 60 meters, so that's why the variance is there. So we'll just figure out what the variance actually is.
Okay. Clear as mud, right? Yep. Same here. So it's moved by Paul or moved by Jim and seconded by Paul. Right. And I read all the conditions. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, now we get to the minor variance that is related to the previous application. Application A12-24M. The owner is Robert Regine and Jennifer Gannon. The agent is David DeFries. Legal description is Part 11, Concession 3. Civic address is 1668 County Road 40. And the purpose of the application is to permit a reduced lot frontage of 35.1 meters instead of the required 45. It's an existing, yeah. It's an existing situation, so we're just recognizing that.
Oh, this is for the other one, sorry. This is for the one up there, sorry.
Yeah.
Don't mind me.
It's all right. It's getting close to Christmas, you know. Any questions or concerns from the public regarding that? Any concerns from the committee? As I said, it's an existing condition. Moved by Doug, seconded by Paul. That application A12-24M by Robert Regine and Jennifer Gannon. David DeFries, agent at 1668 County Road 40, Part Lot 11, Concession 3 in the former Township of Murray is hereby approved to permit a reduced lot frontage of 35.1 meters instead of the required 45 meters. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Next application is minor variance application A13-24M. The owners are Richard and Shelley Vanderloon. Legal description is Part Lot 2, Concession 8. Civic address is 67 Wanamaker Road in Murray Ward. The purpose of the application is to permit a reduced front yard setback of 4.4 meters instead of the required 12 meters for the existing dwelling and a front yard setback of 6 meters instead of the required 12 for the proposed implement building. Any comments or concerns from the public regarding this application? The applicants here? Yeah, okay. Any comments or concerns from the committee members?
I'll move the recommendation.
Okay, moved by Jim, seconded by Doug. That application A13-24M by Richard and Shelley Vanderloon at 67 Wanamaker Road, Part Lot 2, Concession 8 in the former Township of Murray is hereby approved to permit a reduced front yard setback of 4.4 meters instead of the required 12 meters for the existing dwelling and a front yard setback of 6 meters instead of the required 12 meters for the proposed accessory building. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Great. We were going to make you move that house, but
No, we wouldn't do it. We wouldn't do that. Might maybe move the shed, but we wouldn't move the house.
if noticing the lot, though, if you didn't get that minor variance, you'd run into a lot of difficulty with the conservation people because it's pretty marshy back there. So, best of both worlds. Anything else to come before this committee?
We got item 6 here, other
Oh,
business.
yep, 6.
Decision time.
Kelly, do you want to bring us up to date on that?
So I just wanted to let the committee know that we did receive a decision on the appeal to the OLT that we had for the committee's decision on the Christiants, John and Corey Christiants. That was at 5 6-7 Downs Road. So we were issued a decision on November 22nd from the OLT, and they ruled in favor of the Christiances. So they do get their lot, and they will be coming in, I think, in the new year for a rezoning that will obviously go to PAC and not to your committee. But I do have a copy of the decision here if anybody wanted to read what the rationale and how I had to give evidence. I was called as a witness for that because, as you remember, staff supported the applications for the minor variance and for the consent based on provincial input. So I had to do that and go against your recommendation to deny those things. So I did bring it if you wanted to. I was going to check with the clerk just to see how much it cost us, but I never got a chance to.
Just as well.
Jim?
Yeah, I have a question through you, Mr. Chair. One of the reasons I didn't support the initial one was a reduced MDS. And my reasoning for that is, I understand it was recognized, and although we did have some other representatives here that argued against it as far as the MDS, what concerns me is there is a very large dairy farm there, but if that dairy farm wanted to build another major livestock building close, I'm quite sure they'd have to adhere to the full MDS. And I just looked at the fairness. That's why I didn't support it initially. I know there was other houses there way back, which grandfathered, I guess, in a sense. But given the provisions of the farming operation and the liquid manure that they do, which is a little sometimes contentious with neighbors and stuff, and I do know that farming operation sometimes gets complaints when they're going up and down the road with various things. It just seemed to me that I thought we should be cautious, and it was good for the one side, but it seems like the other side could be penalized if they wanted to build another structure further in that agricultural field. That's a separation point between the current house and the projected house that will be there eventually. So that was my reasoning for it, because I think as farm operations are bigger and bigger and whatever, why the farmer has to have some protection too, I think, so. But I don't know what they're said. I'll maybe have to have a look at that to see if there's some rationale, but.
Yeah. And I can give you this copy if you want, Jim, or I can certainly email you guys a copy of it if you want to.
That would work.
Peruse it at your own, and at your own leisure. I think the only thing is, I hear what you're saying about your concern with adding another lot in that area, but that farm is already constrained by those other lots that are already closer to them than the Christians proposed severance, right? So that's why as staff, we felt comfortable recommending a little bit of a reduction to their setback, because they're already constrained.
Yeah.
And you're right, they would, if they wanted to expand, then there's an MDS calculation. It's different than what you do when you're looking at a residence, but there is another MDS calculation that they would have to do, but they're already constrained by what the development that's in that area.
But it just seemed to me that the one side was recognized as, I guess, a lesser, so they could reduce it to qualify, whereas the farmer's going to have to adhere to the full MDS. So it's just a fairness, that's what I look at. And I don't think they should be constrained. I think they should have a fair, look at whatever they would want to do down the road or whatever. But anyway, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments regarding that decision? I know it was a split decision by this committee, and it was a hard decision. I know my decision was based on the right of appeal. The applicants for the severance had a right of appeal, as the objectors or the farmer did not. And I felt, even though it cost the city some money, it cost the applicants some money, it kind of kicks it upstairs to higher powers than us citizens to to make the decision on something like that, because it is life-changing for both parties, I think. And as I said numerous times, we try to make everybody happy in this committee, and it never turns out that way, because one party gets what they want, usually, and the other party doesn't. And but that's what this committee is for. It's kind of a committee of second thought, and look over each application and make a decision based on what we're given. So that's my reasoning for my, I guess it was my deciding vote. Okay, any other business to come before this committee? Hearing none, I get a motion to adjourn. Moved by Paul, second by Doug. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We do have some other things that Kelly's got to give us for next year.
And then there's the minutes for your signature. And so